You watch them grow, and you start to think you did a good job. And then one night, you look away.
Please! Stop right there!
Don't resist! Do not resist!
Let's get an army of blue up in Harlem. You go into those projects and you stop every little thug you see. You bring in every kid who was in the park last night.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Awards Watch Emmy Podcast. I have with me again as my co-host, Amanda Spears. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
And I am, of course, Eric Anderson of Awards Watch. Hello. Today, we are going to talk about the limited series and TV movie categories. It is the weekend right in the middle of the Emmy nomination voting period. So voters are voting right now, watching little bits and scraps and catching up with things, or just voting for their friends or whatever it is that they do. So we're going to take a look at these TV movie and limited series categories and kind of give you an idea of where we think people might go. We're going to start off with the supporting actor in a limited series or movie made for television. And Amanda, what you got?
Well, it's Ben Rashad's been out front, and he's been playing Catch Me If You Can. Problem is that he's been caught. Right now, let me see. Who do I have? 1 second. My item just minimized, so 1 second. Supporting actor. Okay, I think that we're going to, this category, while I'm waiting to pull it up and justify my reasoning for this, sees a lot of series get multiple nominations. And usually it's a TV movie or a limited series that airs right before voting starts.
Mm-hmm.
So currently, I have Michael Kenneth Williams, who I think is in a really good position to possibly finally win that Emmy.
Yep, I agree.
I have John Leguizamo. I have Joshua Jackson.
What?
Yes. Ben Rashad, Paul Dano, and Norbert Leo Bute.
Wow.
Would you like my reasoning for Joshua Jackson, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
I think the second episode, she of all the supporting men that they submitted, and they submitted a lot of people.
Yes.
I think Michael Kenneth Williams gets in. He gives us something we haven't seen from him, which is a very vulnerable character, especially in his final episode in 3.
Yep.
God,
he's
John
so good.
Leguizamo, oh my God, if he just had one more scene, I would be willing to tell you he's going to win right now. John Leguizamo got in last year when no one thought he was going to get in for Waco. And I think Joshua Jackson is that TV veteran. He's grown up on television. He's done a lot of things. And what helps him is if you just get to the second episode of When They See Us, he basically calls BS and what the prosecution's doing and goes up to Vera Farmiga's character and is like, you cannot be kidding me. You can't do this. You're splitting these trials up for the tape. He really is very impactful with a little bit of time in that 1 hour. So I think if there is a third, it's Joshua Jackson because he has enough to do early on to gain attention. I'm not nuts.
No, you're not nuts. That's at all. I think the limited series airing when it did on the last day of eligibility and only being 4 episodes long is a big benefit. Mm-hmm. I think the sheer volume of submitted actors is difficult, which is why I think Michael Kenneth Williams can exist as the standout. But I think he's the only one getting in. I can see the argument for John Leguizamo because he did get that random nomination for Waco, which was totally bizarre. And I can see the argument for Joshua Jackson as the cipher for the white audience that is like, this is a horrible thing that's happening, but how great of this guy to be there at their defense. And I mean, that's just putting it as bluntly as I possibly can.
I liked his performance.
He's good. He's fine. He's not as good. He's not as good as the other nominated kids are, and isn't asked to do as much as they are.
I agree. I don't know if one of those little children stands out enough to get a nomination. And I compare Joshua Jackson to, if you remember, The People versus O.J. Simpson, where they got David Schwimmer in there.
Yeah.
I think like David Schwimmer, Joshua Jackson is giving us something we haven't seen from him before. He's been on television his entire life. Just remember that. We could have a Dawson's Creek reunion.
There's going to be a lot of really interesting reunions with these Emmy nominations between Dawson's Creek and Moonlight. There's a lot of possibilities here.
But I just feel like, you only have to get to the second episode to see his character. And he does make an impression, and he's not as unknown.
I think he's ahead of John Leguizamo in that sense, though. Mm-hmm. I would say. But there's quite a few people that are going to be challenging that.
I think we're actually honestly going to see 7 or 8 people, because I think we're going to see a tie in this category.
I think 7 makes a whole lot of sense, because we're also looking at two guys from Escape at Dannemora. Obviously, Paul Dano is the most likely. Eric Lang is showing up all over the place in predictions. Yeah. Catch-22 has Kyle Chandler and George Clooney. So there's a double right there. Gerald McRaney in the Deadwood movie seems...
Don't forget John Hawkes.
Yeah. I don't know if he's really had enough to do.
No,
Gerald McRaney is a recent winner already.
Yeah. I just think that, like, HBO, this is one of their post-show casts. Deadwood has probably been the most successful post-show. So the fact that HBO found this guy and then he went on to be an Oscar nominee.
Yeah, I feel pretty great actually about the Deadwood movie overall. Yeah. And then we have David Oyelowo for Les Miserables. I think that's...
He did better than Russell Crowe. So
I think, well, that is an extremely low bar, but yes. And then you mentioned Norbert Leo Butz. And who else do we have? I mean, obviously,
I think Chris Messina. I think for the men from HBO. I think like a year ago, Christopher Messina would have been nominated for Sharp Objects. I feel the same way about Stephen Dorff. It's somebody, unfortunately, who normally would get nominated is going to get left out. So, like Stellan Skarsgård from Chernobyl.
I think he has a really good shot.
Yeah, I think all of those 3, depending on how their shows perform, have a really decent chance. It's just, there's, even if they get 7 or 8, somebody who normally would be nominated is going to get left out. I'm not 100% sure on Paul Dano either.
I'm definitely sure on Paul Dano.
He's just one of those young actors I feel like, for some reason, they've just never gotten to him.
I think there are 3 locks in this category. I think it's Ben Whishaw, Paul Dano, and Michael Kenneth Williams. And everybody else is fighting for 3 or possibly 4 slots after that.
Yeah.
But
I think we could see 7 or 8 in this category.
I think so too. I think that prediction itself is very, very possible. I totally can see that. Let's now then move to supporting actress. And who do you have?
Well, again, this is one where Patricia Clarkson laid the gauntlet down last summer and said, catch me if you can. And the good news for her is no one's caught her.
Yeah.
So she's got this. I honestly do not see a scenario that ends with her not winning. Currently, my 6 are Patricia Arquette for The Act, Carmen Ejo for True Detective, Vera Farmiga for When They See Us, Anna Gunn, and then I have Eliza Scanlon for Sharp Objects also.
Did you say Patricia Clarkson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Patricia Clarkson. I think the only person who could have challenged her was Niecy Nash, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you see it, they put her in lead. So
yeah. Isn't it funny though that Patricia Arquette is putting the brakes on both Patricia Clarkson and Amy Adams for Sharp Objects in their respective categories? It's pretty wild.
She can't win for supporting actress. I think she'll get in, but I don't think she will win.
You don't think that she can win for The Act?
No, I think she'll get in. I think Patricia Clarkson has that kind of meaty supporting role that almost overshadows Amy Adams. I know you don't believe in vote splitting, but I think as much as Patricia Arquette won that SAG award, Patricia Clarkson probably lost it for Amy Adams just being in there. Because if I had to pick between the two of who deserves an award, I would almost give it to Patricia Clarkson because she just steals every scene she's in.
Oh, I love her in Sharp Objects. It's like the greatest Tennessee Williams play that never was. She's hilariously ridiculous. I love her.
Completely drunk all the time. I think she absolutely will win. If Patricia Arquette somehow pulled that off, then I would be really, really worried about what's going to happen in Best Actress.
Oh, I would.
But I don't think she's going to win both. I think that Patricia Clarkson still has this pretty much locked up.
And you said Eliza Scanlon, right? You had her getting in as well.
Right now I still have her in there.
Yeah.
So good.
She is really good.
Yeah.
She's great, and she's the antithesis of Clarkson in just performance and
she's
role.
Her mother's daughter.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I can see Vera Farmiga getting in. That would be a choice.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, again, it's.
I googled the prosecutor, and she had that same Marcia Clark wig, but they shouldn't have done that in the movie. That's like my one nitpicking. Like,
I don't care about that. I'm just looking at the optics of things, and when I look at these and go, okay, the supporting actress that they're going to nominate for When They See Us is Vera Farmiga. That's not a good look.
Well, it's not Felicity Huffman, so I don't.
Well,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely not, but so I don't know. I
think When They
don't
See
feel
Us
great
is
about
the most nominated limited series. So if that's the case, then they've got to pick up acting nominations, and I do think she, just by being the only one left practically that helps her out. And it is Felicity Huffman's character who's kind of pushing her into prosecuting this.
I think they have other choices, though. I mean, Farmiga has good tapes that have a lot of time in them, and then that is her benefit over, like Ingenue Ellis, or that's.
Mm-hmm.
I totally get that, but I don't know. What else do we have? Boy, there's a lot from.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones in there. I mean, we could see Julia Garner pop back up for Dirty John. I mean, if she gets in both, folks, she's winning supporting actress in the drama series. I will not hesitate to put her in first place if she somehow gets into this category for Dirty John over someone like Carmen Ejogo or Liza Scanlon. She will be winning an Emmy, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a joke. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm serious. There are sometimes just people who have arrived, and if she,
we'll see. I'm also looking to Sally Field in Maniac and Robin Weigert for Deadwood.
Yeah, Robin Weigert did get an Emmy nomination for Deadwood. Jim Dickens. I mean, there's a lot of good actors and actresses from that show, from that movie.
Yeah. Did you say Emily Watson? Did you have her on your list?
I have her as a possibility. I'm not 100% sure how Chernobyl is going to perform.
I think it's going to do really well, and When They See Us, it's not a long limited series. It's only 5 episodes, and I think that benefits both of those quite a bit because they're shorter watches, and in a sense, it's kind of a good thing because it's material that is very difficult to watch. So I think for a voter, that will work to their advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the live in front of the studio audience that just aired? I think Marla Gibbs is probably the most likely.
I mean, I get it, but she's only in it like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but sure.
I wouldn't fault it to her. I just don't know if there's room this year for like a live musical like there was last year, because this is a very stacked year compared to last year.
Yeah, I'm not looking at the All the Family Jeffersons thing the same way that the Jesus Christ Superstar was.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Rent is going to make any type of impact the way that that did.
No, and I don't know if Jesus Christ Superstar in this year
could have
taken that many nominations.
Yeah. What about Emma Watson in King Lear?
I think King Lear is Anthony Hopkins or bust. Now she is helped by Late Night, but I don't know. Personally, I think that's one of those where it's all or nothing for that one person.
I mean, we did. I just realized we didn't really talk about the supporting actor possibilities from there.
Yeah,
I guess.
I think Anthony Hopkins just kind of sucks all the attention up from that, and then you're like, oh yeah, she's in that. Yeah,
I don't know. BBC and Amazon. That's a pretty nice combination.
Yeah. But they don't really love TV movies. They've really shied away from them recently.
Yeah.
Where it's like, Robert De Niro will get in, or Laura Dern will get in, but they won't nominate in the supporting people. It gets tougher and tougher.
What about Lily Collins in Les Mis?
I mean, bravo to her for her performance. Again, she's going to have to deal with being compared to, she's Fantine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's going to have to deal with all of those comparisons. I don't know how well that can perform personally.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out in my head of how that is going to play. It's PBS, which is really, really good. You could do a lot worse. But
I know.
I mean, yeah,
I'd rather be on PBS than Stars. I mean,
yeah.
When it comes to getting Emmy nominations, that's us. I don't know how that series is going to perform because it's got to compete with the movie and the musical. And
yeah, I just realized Olivia Colman is not submitted there. Huh.
Yeah, that might have been their best chance.
Yeah, that was a terrible idea. Okay.
I know. I don't think
Wow.
they realized. Yeah, no.
That's wild.
It's okay. She'll be back to the Emmys next year. It'll be fine.
Yes, she most certainly will. You could probably lock that in pretty easily.
Her and Meryl Streep. Just pencil them in for 2020.
Exactly.
For 2020.
All right, let's go to the lead categories. And let's start with lead actor for a limited series or TV movie, because this has just been killing me.
I keep changing it and emailing you changes, so it's like
I know.
You're like, can you make a decision? You're like, you can't change it that quickly, that often in an article. First of all,
this is a lot. This is tough.
This is going to be hard. I think there will only be 6. And right now, against all of my better judgment, because I'm just really tired of thinking about this category, I'm going with Mahershala Ali, Benicio del Toro, Hugh Grant, Jharrel Jerome, Ian McShane, and Sam Rockwell.
I think I'm the same.
And I can see, I think Ian McShane might be my number 6 if I'm putting them in order. He's 5th or 6th.
I think I am the same. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Mahershala Ali, Ian McShane, Jharrel Jerome, Hugh Grant, Sam Rockwell, Jared Harris.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's really hard. I think there's room for only one TV movie, and I picked Deadwood. But he could definitely be snubbed, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Because they do love their limited series.
Yeah, Benicio del Toro seems really tough to miss here.
Yeah, I know we were messaging back and forth. I'd feel a lot better about him if he just showed up somewhere. Because it seems odd to me that somebody who won lead actor for Traffic and won the Oscar for supporting, remember they put him in the wrong category at SAG, and he still won.
I know.
Could not get a SAG nomination.
Yeah, but I think that was really because it was all about Patricia Arquette. And if that's the case, then she might end up being the only one from that show.
I know, but if the series is going to factor in for a win, it can't just be Patricia Arquette and a directing nomination.
Yeah, but the series is not going to factor in for a win.
Well, they want to believe they are, so.
Sure, and we'll get to that in a minute. But yes, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think that, and the good news for someone like Hugh Grant, who did go through the entire cycle and lose a Globe in the SAG award, is that, Darren Criss isn't in this. So we don't know in this group how he will compete. He might still be able to win.
That's the thing. That's the different cycles between the Emmys, Golden Globes, and SAG are make so many of these things negligible. Patricia Arquette may have won and beaten, Amy Adams, but she hasn't come up against Michelle Williams.
Yeah, you don't know if you factor in Michelle Williams, Amy Adams might.
You never know. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet as far as winners are concerned. Because
no, I mean even to that category yet, because we still got to work with these actors.
Yeah.
I think Jared Harris is probably, if I had to put somebody on a bubble, that's the bubble.
I would put Benedict Cumberbatch as my 7 on a bubble because He's just been nominated too many times to be underestimated, frankly. But he's
would be
also
gross.
kind of like, he's kind of dude to be snubbed, person.
I
like,
hope
enough.
it's no. Yeah, but I don't even
enough.
think it would be actually I don't think it'll be really a snub if he doesn't get in. So
it's a Showtime movie. Ugh. You know, and then you've got Anthony Hopkins. So yeah, I mean, Jared Harris seems like he should be number 7, but then you've got to factor those two in with him. It's
yeah. I mean
this.
I've seen people predict Christopher Abbott for Catch-22, which I think seems like a bit of a stretch.
No. I think what happened to Christopher Abbott and actually just the Catch-22 is that Monday has kind of neutralized it. Because there's only, I think, room for one big breakout performance this year for this category, and it's Jerome.
Yeah. Who better win? Or I'm just going to tear the whole place apart.
I don't know if he can win, but I know he can get nominated.
That's
It's so hard because it comes down to 1 hour, and Sam Rockwell has, 7?
Yes, exactly. And that's the difference between the lead and the supporting is that, the leads are going to have the entire season. And for Jerome, it is definitely episode 4. But at the same time, he is the only of the 5 that plays the young and the adult version. And so that will read extremely well.
Yeah, I agree. I know, but you've got to boil the whole thing down to is 1 hour enough to win an Emmy? And that is a big question when you've got Sam Rockwell playing Bob Fosse.
And he's extremely young.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the young thing. I don't care about the young thing anymore.
Oh, I do, because Darren Criss winning, even though it was kind of inevitable, was a big deal because he's of his age. He's really young.
Yeah. I know, but I think that the fact that we've seen 2 young winners in a row, the age thing doesn't bother me as much as the time. I think, Hugh Grant, he's got 3 hours. God, he's so good in those 3 hours. Yep. And what's different about him compared to the rest of them is it's not depressing. It's a fun 3 hours.
True.
He is a politician first before anything. He's unlike any character we usually see on TV. Especially from him. I love it. I was so sad he didn't win that Globe.
I know. That seemed like the best place for him to get that.
I've been telling people since that aired last year, Hugh Grant's going to win a Golden Globe for this. He's got it in the bag. Enjoy your Emmy night, Darren Criss. I was shocked they didn't go that way because it just seemed like the obvious choice.
I know. It was a domination by Criss.
Yeah, I did not see that coming, but yeah, it's one of those I want to see with the 6-star, but
yeah, and it's kind of wild that we have the same, but yeah, I'm gonna over the next couple of weeks really dig down into these and look at time and what I think the true impact is going to be for the voter.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It is.
And I want to see nomination totals overall. And
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's go over to TV movie, which is an extremely bleak category with very few.
TV movie.
There's very few even eligible films. It's so bizarre.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I mean,
who are your 5?
Well, I mean, there's only 2 that really matter. But my 5 are. What a disappointment the Romanoffs was, huh? That was supposed to be Matt Weiner. That was such a disappointment.
Yeah, huge disappointment, and then they clearly realized that too by breaking it apart. So.
That's why they broke it apart, I think, is they realized that this was shut. I mean, Amazon outbid every other network to get Matt Weiner, the creator of Mad Men's next project.
Yeah.
And they went against their normal streaming option of dumping everything at once and release these individually because that's how he wanted it.
Yep.
And it only just gave them like 10 weeks to complain.
It's what a flop. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I mean, I feel bad for Christina Hendricks because I thought she was great in House of Special Purpose, but my 5 are Deadwood the movie, Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, King Lear, Brexit, and My Dinner with Hervé.
Yeah, do I have the same? What? I think I do.
And the race is between Deadwood and Black Mirror.
Yeah, I think Deadwood's winning.
I want to see the nominations to be sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have Deadwood, Black Mirror, and King Lear for like 1, 2, 3, and then looking at 4, 5. I can absolutely see a place where the Violet Hour, the Romanoffs movie, gets in here. I can totally see that happening, and being the only nomination that it gets.
Yeah, I think end of the line. There was like 1 or 2 good episodes, but it's just buried in a lot of nothingness, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, Catherine Hahn is great in her episodes, but I don't think it's going to get enough attention. What I want to see between Deadwood and Bandersnatch is how many nominations total. Do either get any actors in? Does Deadwood get a writing nomination?
Well, I think it's pretty, I mean, in my estimation, Deadwood has the much higher likelihood for getting multiple nominations versus Bandersnatch. I don't think Bandersnatch is getting any acting nominations. It could get a writing one. Even the whole concept, even the idea of which it submitted was kind of strange, since it is a choose your own adventure episode.
But it's one writing 2 years in a row, so if it didn't get a writing nomination, I feel a lot more comfortable with picking Deadwood. So it's just one of those where I'm playing the wait and see game, but the race is between those two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't see how it would not be at this point. I'm not sure if I can. I know you have Brexit in, and it does make sense. I don't right now, but yeah.
What did it vote at?
What's that?
Brexit, yeah. I don't know.
It probably is. It's probably in. Like I said, I just see them doing something weird, like the Romanoffs thing.
Yeah,
I don't think Native Son probably doesn't have much of a chance, even though, I mean, what else does? Yeah, Deadwood is sort of like the Game of Thrones of this category, and Native Son is like the Succession of this category.
We hope so. I mean, let's all remember that a lot of people thought Kyle McMahon and Twin Peaks were going to have a big Emmys, and they didn't. So
yep, exactly.
That's why I'm hedging my bets for that right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's why I'm trying not to go too all in on Deadwood at the moment, because we don't know how much they really love these revivals. They don't seem to love them out in any other category. And I think it helped by getting, I don't know if they could get into limited series if it was more parts, as vast as that is. But I think TV movie, definitely. But I want to see how it does overall.
Yeah. All right. Let's close this out with limited series, because.
Oh, we didn't do actress.
What? Oh my gosh. I'll have to edit that. Never mind. Yes. Oh my God. Listen to me for forgetting lead actress. My God, my gay card is absolutely being taken away as we speak. All right, yes, lead actress in a limited series or made for television movie. Let's do this.
All right. I keep changing it, but I believe this is the last person I emailed. You're like, please stop emailing me. Limited series actress. Okay, so right now, for the moment, I have Amy Adams, Patricia Arquette, Connie Britton, Juliana Margulies, Emma Stone, and Michelle Williams.
I am terrified of this category.
What? And my reason for keeping Connie Britton in is, one, they love her. Two, Bravo is no slouch at getting Emmy nominations. And three, she appears on the first page with Amy Adams and Patricia Arquette. So. Yeah,
but I mean, the show already got ditched from Bravo for its next season, so I don't.
Well, I don't think there ever was a next season. It's based on a really popular podcast, so.
I know.
Okay, I love her.
My picks are Amy Adams, Patricia Arquette, Michelle Williams, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei, and Joey King.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes.
I say no to Marissa Tomei.
I
like Joey King. I don't know. I could see her getting in. I'm just not 100%. And I think, with me, I picked Juliana Margulies because Nat Geo is been on the uptick of getting nominations. They keep getting Zinnias. They kept getting Zinnias in consecutive years.
I know.
I think, they love Juliana Margulies. She's not an unknown entity to the Emmys. And remember, Edie Falco last year got in. So I think that's my thought process. And
I
you're
know.
like, oh, Connie Britton. I'm like, remember, folks, she got 4 Emmy nominations consecutively for 3 different shows. That is not an easy feat.
No, this is an extremely tough category. And Juliana Margulies, Connie Britton, Ruth Wilson are all names.
If they really love
ideas,
she could absolutely knock someone like Emma Stone out, because I don't know if Maniac looks scared. Yeah,
I mean, I have Emma Stone in, but it seems like I feel like Maniac maybe is just an afterthought as well. Like, oh, that's right, this aired.
Yeah, it could just be.
I would love to see Niecy Nash in. And she doesn't have quite the scope of, Amy Adams or Michelle Williams or Patricia Arquette.
No.
But she does have that one episode, and really that one scene. It's one scene more than anything.
I love her so much in that.
Yeah,
it reminds me of Monique and Precious if this was a movie.
Well, and Niecy Nash has already proven to be a surprise nominee. So.
Yeah. I love Niecy Nash, and she is always so charming and just grateful for any attention. And
she's a lot of fun. Yeah, I like her a lot.
She would be the happiest person to be nominated.
Either her or Joey King, I think, would be like the happiest people.
Yeah. Ugh.
So you're really, really down on Marissa Tomei.
I just don't think there's room for one of those lives.
I think this is exactly where the room is.
Well, why not Jamie Foxx, who broke and kept on going, and I don't know I don't see why they would nominate her now when they pooed on her last year for The Handmaid's Tale.
I know. That's still a shocking.
They went with some actors nobody ever heard of who submitted themselves. So
which is kind of awesome, and it's one of the things I love about the Emmys. I love that.
Oh, I love it about the Emmys, but they went out of their way to nominate someone other than her.
Yes, they did.
So It's just one of those things where I don't know if there's any room for anything that was like live TV this year.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there wasn't anything that had the impact that Jesus Christ Superstar did. There just wasn't.
Yeah. Well, that was an event.
I get it, but
yeah, that made Brandon Victor Dixon a star overnight.
Mhm. But I'm gonna stick with Marissa Tomei. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're all probably gonna be wrong on one or two of these, but you know.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It's a good
sticking with my brand
well.
of praising. So.
Well, I can't wait till we actually have the nominations, and then we can talk about who's
yeah,
going to
win.
win.
Yeah, it'll be like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Because that's going to be really, really exciting.
Yeah. I could draw a name out of a hat.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a lot of, outside of the names that we mentioned.
I feel bad for
else.
Amy Adams because I feel like last year she would have won this easily. So.
Yes.
Because I think Sharp Objects would have been the most nominated series.
Well, no, that would have gone up against Big Little Lies.
No, it would have gone up against Godless and American Crime Story.
Oh, yes, sorry.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah,
2 years, not 1 year.
Won last year. You know, this.
Yeah,
I don't
timing.
know what HBO is thinking with holding that back. They really should.
Timing is everything.
Yeah. Wow.
But again, I mean, everybody thought that Amy Adams was just going to walk away with, Golden Globes and SAGs for this, and then Patricia Arquette came in and said, nope. And I think then that's going to happen again with the Emmys, but with somebody else.
You never know when you add different people into the mix what's going to happen. So,
yeah,
there might be some people who feel sorry that she just keeps on losing. You never know. You just never know.
I don't think so. That's it. That does not seem to be a problem for awards bodies with Amy Adams.
I'm trying to be nice to her. I feel sorry for her.
No, I do too. In the context of this, absolutely.
She's always gracious, and
I can't imagine what it would be like, to be constantly nominated, all over the place, to go to events all the time and to lose every time.
Yeah.
So
I was really hoping for her that this would be kind of like Julianne Moore and Game Change, where she finally went through an award cycle, Globe, SAG, Emmy, and seemed more like a winner, and then maybe a couple years later finally got that Oscar, but wasn't to be.
Yeah.
Who knows?
All right, now
you never know.
Now we can go to the final category.
Yay.
But this feels really locked up to me.
It feels like there should be 6 and not 5.
It does, because I think maybe 4 are absolutely locked, and that 5th one is the which is it going to be?
Mhm.
Because for me, it's Chernobyl, When They See Us, Escape at Dannemora, Fosse, Verdon, and Sharp Objects, but with a very English scandal right there.
Yeah, and I have Escape at Dannemora, Fosse, Verdon, Sharp Objects, a very English scandal, and When They See Us.
So you have the what I have with Chernobyl out and English in. Yeah,
because I think that it benefits from. I don't usually make predictions this way, but I just went with the one from each network kind of. So I think that the fact
it's also the mood, like you mentioned earlier. A very English scandal has a lighter tone to it than a lot of the other contenders here, and that definitely makes it stand out. Yeah,
and I think that even if voters are just going to sit down to watch this for Hugh Grant, it's a very easy binge because he doesn't get married, for example, to hide the fact that he's gay. He gets married for votes, like that. He's a politician before he is anything else. It's just an incredible watch, and it's so refreshing for him. He's in the middle of his career renaissance. I really wish he would win. I would love for him to win. So, and I think the fact that we know at least two of his actors are going to get in, if not possibly contend to win Emmys, only helps it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's why I think Chernobyl is more of an event where I could see if they get in, many of the actors getting in.
Yeah, but I don't know. That seems so weird. That would be like
it does seem weird, but we see it every now and then where it
would be
so
like the Alien.
Yeah, it seems so technically impressive, and it gets a lot of below the line nominations potentially, but maybe it just doesn't, get that one actor in.
I don't know. I wish this had.
I know. I know. I do. I'd
feel really good if it did.
if they had a 6, then we would have the same 6, because Chernobyl would be the next one on my list.
Yes, and it's the tiers of this are pretty distinct for me.
Yeah.
Because that final 5th is a tier separate from the first 4, and then after English Scandal and Chernobyl is another tier that's pretty far down from that, which would be like Catch-22 and Les Mis.
I would throw in The Act also.
And the act, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like for like the streaming services, they want this. They all want this, and Netflix more than any of them wants it, and they need to play this very carefully because finally win a big category. TV movie isn't as prestigious as it used to be. But I mean, I think LeVar Burton basically wrote them an FYC ad a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And Jharrel Jerome, he's going to be, in the category of sharks. I mean, he could potentially go up against between 3 to 4 Oscar winners. And that's not usually what we see in these categories.
Yeah, I'm excited for this year. Like we had mentioned before, just the reunion possibilities here.
I don't think Mahershala Ali can win, but he's going to get nominated.
Speaking of, where's True Detective on this list?
I just feel like thank you for your service as far as bringing true crime into TV. But it wasn't as good as season 1. And, they signed him up for a 2 more season contract. And clearly he realized that, the format for season 1 was better. So,
yeah.
Thank you for the rule change that, I don't know why they didn't just say Homecoming was a limited series. I think that it would easily have probably taken, or at least been in the conversation.
Yeah,
I
think
really
would have been.
We don't need Julia Roberts in the middle of that category.
That's for damn sure. That would
so much. I can't take it.
That would throw that category into an even crazier turmoil.
I know. It's like, oh my God. But I think, for Niecy Nash, for any of these people who don't feel like, who aren't Oscar winners or, movie stars to get into these categories, they have every reason to hold their heads up high because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah. I like this category a lot, though.
I do. I can't wait to see the directing.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I can't wait to get into that. That'll be a lot of fun to podcast because that's going to be...
I think Ava DuVernay is on the precipice of making history.
I think so too. I mean, I think the series can win here. I think she can win. I think Jerome can win. And that's game changing.
I think what she's going to do is what follow Amy Sherman-Palladino and become the first woman, become the first person, let me just put it that way, person to win writing and directing for a limited series.
she's gonna, if she were able to win both, that would put her in like 3 separate first categories.
Well, yeah. I mean, she'll be the first African American woman to win a directing category. She'll be the first African American woman to win writing. She'll be the first person, regardless of race, color, gender, to win. I mean, Dee Reese, before Mudbound, for Betsy is nominated for both, so she'll be only the second African American woman writer director to do that. Like,
it's crazy.
I know. And let's all thank Netflix for not entering Roma and really.
Like, I can imagine.
I'm waiting for like one of these, like, I just wish HBO would have like a movie in the Oscar competition and then put it in TV movie, and then this whole what's a movie and what's television would change, because it only takes one of those academies to set a specific rule.
That would be crazy pants.
And if you guys think I'm nuts, I went through the rules. There is nothing stopping them from putting Roma in TV movie. There's nothing stopping it.
Well, I mean,
except that they know that they get to do it, and then next year the rules would change.
Yes, and that'd be very bad optics.
Well, one thing that you have to remember is like the people, the O.J. Simpson documentary Made in America.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That was made by ESPN and ABC. They released it as a movie. It competed at both the Oscars and the Emmys. And HBO and Netflix threw a fit because they said, well, we didn't enter the Jinx and we didn't enter Making a Murderer. And they probably knew that they're very big Oscar competitors in those documentary categories, that if either of them did it, the other was going to throw a fit and get the rules changed. So it takes a third party to come in there and change the rules, basically.
Yes, but Netflix did it with 13th. So.
Well, I'm talking about like a docu-series.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, they knew that like if either of them entered, Making a Murderer, which is 10 parts, or which is 8 parts, the other's going to throw a fit and get the rules changed. Well, ABC doesn't care because it's going to be a once in a million time for them. So what happens? Those two networks throw a fit and the rule changes. So somebody is going to have to do it, and then, Netflix or Amazon will throw a fit and the rule will change.
Yep. I think there'll be a lot of that in the coming years, actually.
But, I mean, Ava DuVernay's already made Emmy history with 13th, and I think she will easily continue to do so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and I'm looking for, when they see us, to have a good nomination haul.
I think it will too.
And I will give you the category to look for it. And if it gets into costume for a period piece, because it does take place in the 80s, if it gets in there where it probably doesn't belong, look out, folks.
That's
out.
I think anybody that pays super close attention to award stuff like this, and like we do, that's exactly what we do. We look at the categories that not are the obvious ones that it's getting into, but the ones that's like, okay, this means a lot.
Hairstyling. If it got into hairstyling.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the Oscars. Even though Green Book missed director, it got film editing, and that was a huge clue right there. Yeah, definitely. So things like that happen all the time in Emmys and Oscars and all that. So you just got to pay attention.
Yeah, it's that same thing with like Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. If it starts being drama series in some of those categories, taking down Veep looks a whole hell of a lot easier. What you're going through drama.
Yeah, exactly. So Amanda, do you have any final thoughts on limited series for now until our next podcast?
I just, I worry for Ben Stiller, touching on director. The directing branch of the TV Academy is very snobbish when it comes to actors. And if he does not get a nomination, something is going to have to change with their nomination process.
Well, they weren't too snobby to snub Jason Bateman.
That's so rare. There's like 18 years in between that.
Yeah.
I just think that, like, if something happens and Ben Stiller does not get nominated, they're going to have to adjust their nomination process, because that would absolutely be because he's an actor. There's no reason the DGA winner shouldn't be in that category.
Yeah, I think that would be a pretty shocking snub, and I can't wait for us to talk about that category.
I would be very sad for him if that happened.
Yeah.
Because I think what he does is prove he has a second career as a director.
Yeah, I think this is something that impressed a lot of people, and I think his chances of getting in are very strong as a result. So.
Yeah, he could still potentially win. I thought there was another director named Ben Stiller. Like, there are two Mandy Moores. So I went on IMDb and it was like, check it. You see that sometimes people's names are the same, and I just was like, oh wow. And I think that helps him out. I actually think it might help him out a little bit that people are like, wow.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Did this.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Amanda, tell everybody listening where they can find you on the internet.
At Miss Amanda Spears on Instagram and Twitter.
Fantastic. And you can find me at awards_watch on Twitter, awardswatch on Facebook and Instagram, and of course, awardswatch.com. Amanda, thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, everybody, for listening. Goodbye.